Hi everyone, in this video I want to give an overview of our course's standards-based grading system. The big points I want to discuss are, what are some of the drawbacks of a traditional points-based grading system and how is that different from a standards-based grading system? How will assessments and reassessments work in our class? How am I going to determine your grade? And I want to end with some big takeaways about why I'm using a standards-based grading system. One of the key drawbacks of a traditional points-based grading system is that we'll learn some content in our class over a few weeks, and then we'll get assessed on it in a quiz or an exam. So suppose I take a quiz and I get an 80% on it. Well, that means I had a 20% gap in my learning. After that, though, the class will move on to the next topic, which probably builds on those gaps. And the problem with this process is that it identifies those gaps in my learning, but it doesn't help fill them. Having those gaps in earlier topics, which are likely more foundational, will make later more complex topics harder to learn. What are the key differences between a points-based and a standards-based grading system? In both systems, we start with some defined learning objectives, things your instructor wants you to be able to do, and I'm going to call these standards. In a points-based system, you have a fixed amount of time to learn something before you get tested on it. And then you have one chance to show that you are proficient at it. So this system doesn't always reward student growth, because if you perform worse on early assessments, even if you improve your scores on later ones, those early scores may weigh your grade down. In a standards-based system, you have a flexible amount of time to learn something and multiple opportunities to demonstrate your proficiency. So this system supports people who learn at different speeds, and that helps create a more equitable and inclusive learning environment. There is actually a lot of research out there about standards-based grading and similar grading practices that show they help improve student learning. It's even at the heart of Khan Academy's learning model, and this is a thumbnail to a talk that the founder, Sal Khan, gave about it. How will assessments and reassessments work in our class? We have 19 standards, these learning objectives, and here's a list of them. I know this shows up pretty small here, but you can find this complete list on our syllabus, which will be posted on Camino. You'll be assessed on these during quizzes, with the exception of one of them, which you'll be assessed on in the written homework. So you'll be scored on each problem on a quiz between 0 to 4 points using our proficiency rubric. So you'll get 4 points if your work is completely correct. 3 points means you're approaching proficiency, 2 points if you've got the basics achieved, 1 point if you're approaching the basics, and 0 points if I can't make an assessment of your work because there's no relevant knowledge given. One of the key benefits of this system is that you can improve your score on any quiz problem by first correcting your work and explaining your corrections to me during office hours or to a tutor at the MLC. And then you'll take a reassessment where I'll give you a similar problem to work out, and you can reassess multiple times up until the end of the quarter. My one key requirement is that you are allowed to reassess up to 2 standards per week, and those will happen in class on Fridays. Your grade will be determined by your performance on our core standards and on the homeworks according to the following table. You need to do all of the items in a particular row to earn that corresponding grade. For example, if a student did all of these items that are highlighted in yellow, they've done everything that they need to do to earn an A. They've satisfied all of those requirements. As another example, suppose a student did the following instead. This student has met all the requirements for a B-, and that's the grade they would earn. In fact, on a couple of them, they were in the A range, like on the online and written homework average, they were scoring at least a 90%. However, they wouldn't score in the A range for their grade because they need to do all of the things in the row for an A, and they haven't done all of them. For example, they haven't gotten enough standards where they scored at least a 3, or enough standards where they scored a 4 to enter the A range yet. On our syllabus and on Camino, there will be a link to a Google sheet like this you will be able to use to track your progress and compute your grade in the class. This is actually a screenshot to a sheet from a previous quarter, but we will have something very similar to this in our class. I want to end with some final takeaways about why I'm using a standards-based grading system. The first is it gives you several chances to demonstrate your proficiency. So it's okay to make mistakes. You'll have chances to practice and improve your scores through corrections and reassessments. The second is you have clear expectations on what you need to do to earn a particular grade. You'll know exactly what you need to do to get a B and to get an A, and I like that. The third thing is you have agency to improve your grade through your work on corrections and reassessments. So this system rewards you for your perseverance. And the fourth thing is, it's important to me that you feel welcome in our class with your identity, whatever that may be. And I want our grading scheme to give flexibility to all learners, even if you don't get something on the first try. I know that I don't always get something down on my first attempt. I want to create a space where you can build your skills and have multiple opportunities to show me what you've learned. And I'm excited to work with you this quarter.